Hello everyone, and I'm so happy to have you back again here on my channel to watch my second video. Today I'm going to be talking about the cost of having Microlocks installed here in South Africa, so please stay tuned. So yes, the costing involves having your Microlocks installed for the first time and then maintaining them subsequently as you go throughout your journey with your Microlocks. And I have been researching on various places that do offer Microlocks installation, and at the end of this video I'll just give you a general average that you can expect. But yes, a few of the places that I did contact gave me a breakdown of their fees and how much you can expect to pay. And some of the other places, I will mention them, that do offer the services. However, you may have to do your own research and find out how much exactly you will have to part ways with to have your Microlocks installed here in SA. So the first place I'll be talking about is Svida, which is based in Pretoria. And I start off with Svida because that's where I got my Microlocks installed. And I've been going there time and again to get my locks retightened. I'm using two different places, well, not necessarily two places, but I've been going to Nubian Crown as well to get my locks retied. And I'm just loving to keep my options open. Whenever I can, I'll go back to Pretoria and get my locks retied there. But for now, I'm also using Nubian Crown, which is based in Hyde Park. But anyways, back to the cost. You'll find that with Svida, to get your establishment, they charge an hourly rate, which is 230 Rand per hour. That's what I paid in August of 2020. They charged me 230 Rand per hour. And the beauty why I chose Svida is because they offer an interlock installation, and I wanted that because I wanted a uniform lock. You'll find with some places they can offer you a twist installation or a braid installation, but then when you go for your reties, they'll then do interlocking method. I preferred a uniform lock from start to finish, so I went with Svida that does interlocking from root to top. So they did 230. They charged 230 per hour, and I sat in their chair for about 9 hours in total. So 9 hours of locking, but in real time I was seated there for about 7 hours. So what happened is I had one loctician, one consultant who was working on my hair when I got there, and she did 5 hours by herself. And then in the 5th hour, she was then joined by another person to help her, and they did the last 2 hours together. So in combination, it was then 4 hours, the 2 hours of my original loctician and the 2 hours of the person who was helping her. And then in total, it then became 9 hours. So 9 multiplied by 230 Rand per hour came up to just a little over 2,000 Rand. That's what I paid for installation. And then come reties, they have a retie service which consists of your locks being retightened, a wash and steam, and that's it. So to retie your hair, that will cost you 500 Rand for the appointment to retie your hair in I don't know, it's just that 500. I'm not too sure if they break it down to maximum amount. Maximum time would be, let's say, 4 hours for a retie or 5 hours for a retie, and then maybe they then start charging you extra for additional hours that go beyond the 5 hours. I'm not too sure, but I'd like to think that's what they would do, because you can't come with hair that's damaged and it will take you 8 hours to get a retie and you expect to pay 500. I don't think it works like that. So that's the 500 to get your hair retied, and then there's 300 for wash and steam, which brings the total appointment fee to 800 Rand. And then if you then want to add styling, so let's say you just don't want your hair to hang like that, then you add an additional 200 Rand for styling. So each appointment could then set you off around 1.1 if you're dealing with Esvida. And then we move on to the next salon, which is Microlocks salon in Randburg. And I did get a hold of those guys, but they didn't give me feedback as to how much they charge for their installation. However, I do know their reti fees because I've been there for a reti, and they charged me, they say they start from 550 for your reti, and the reti appointment service consists of the actual reti, wash and steam, and that's it. So that's from that, they start from 550, and I think it depends with how long your hair is, the regrowth, how long it is, how much they need to work on your hair, how long it takes to work on your hair, and all of that. If you want to then add styling, I think if you're at a reti appointment and you want your hair styled, it should be an additional 100 Rand for styling. And then let's say you are not, let's say it's just a styling appointment, you don't want your hair retied, you just want a wash and style, they charge 200 for styling. So for me, when I went for my reti, they charged me 600 Rand for that appointment. It was just the reti, the steaming, and that was it. There was no styling for me. And then the next place is Nubian Crown. And Nubian Crown, they have quite a nice breakdown of their fees on their booking system. So you actually can go onto their booking system, and then you choose the type of services you want when you when you visit their salon. And those services would consist of, firstly, you can get your locks purified there for 350 Rand. And then your installation, before I talk about purifying of locks, let's talk about the actual installation of the Microlocks. The install involves either a braid lock method or twist lock method, or you can choose an interlock method. And they have a flat fee that they charge. For braid or twist lock installation, they charge you 2.5 for 9 hours that you're sitting in their chair. And then I'd like to think maybe if your hair is a bit more dense or very long, per additional hour, maybe they'll then charge you an hourly rate. And then if you then choose to have an interlock installation, they will charge you a flat fee of 3,000 for 9 hours, for up to 9 hours, I think. And then if you then have, let's say, longer hair and you're sitting for longer than 9 hours, I'd like to think that you'll be charged an hourly rate. I'm not too sure about that, but yes, you can confirm with them and find out. So those are the installation fees. And then we come to your reti appointments. Reti then consists of the actual reti, wash and steam, and then a style of your choice without any extensions. And their retis are divided into two. If you come for your reti within 6 weeks of your last reti, then you pay 550 Rand for your retis. If you stretch your reti appointment and you come post 6 to 8 weeks from your previous reti appointment, then you're going to pay 1.1 for your reti. And this also has to do with the time that you're sitting in their chair. If you're there for less than 5 hours, then you're paying 550. If you're there for over 5 hours, then you pay 1.1. And there's a whole explanation as to why they do that. If you want specifics, you're welcome to just pop them a message on Instagram or call them, and you'll find out exactly how they break down their fees. So that's Nubian Crown for you. And then there's a place that I found recently that's in Cape Town, and it's called Littlelocscapetown. and the consultant or loctician is fairly new, and she's offering her services with flexible rates. So you can just get a hold of her on Instagram. She's called Littlelocscapetown, and you can just have a chat with her, find out how much she charges, or if you have a budget, you can present her with your budget, and then you can possibly discuss a way forward. Yeah. And then also in Joburg, I recently also came across another place called the Lockshackjhb. So it's Lockshack. I'll put down the spelling in the description box so that you don't get it wrong. Lockshackjhb. And she's offering installation or reties. So let's say you want to diversify, or you want to have different experiences and not just stick to one loctician. Just in case your loctician isn't available when you need them, it's also advisable to just try out other people. Also, even as a form of verifying the work that your loctician is doing, if you have an installation that you want someone else to let's say give the thumbs up that, you know what, this is good, it will form properly, you can then go and consult someone else to just give you that feedback if you're not too certain. It's advisable to do that. There's nothing wrong by doing that. So you can also get a hold of the Lockshackjhb, and she can tell you her rates and all of those wonderful things. So what I found is, in general, you can expect to pay anything from, let's say you're dealing with someone who's fairly new, and they're still trying to build their clientele. You can possibly look at paying something from 1.5, maybe. But yes, in general, I think you can budget around about 2,000 Rand for installation. And then for your reties, you can budget for about 550 per retie appointment, which you'll have to go. It's advisable to go after every 4 weeks, or at least every 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks if you're starting off. And then if your locks are a bit more mature, you can stretch it out to around 8 weeks for your appointments. And I think these fees are also negotiable, because let's say you're someone like me who, when my locks mature, my hair is very fine, it's not a lot. And when I go to Svida, I sit for under an hour for my reties. And then when I've gone to these different other salons, I sit for about 2 hours. Mainly because one, maybe the tools that they use, and they haven't been doing locks also for the longest time, so they don't have that experience as Vida, which has been doing it for quite a long time. So I would like to think that I could stretch it out and not even sit in their chair for over 4 hours. I wouldn't be doing that. So I think maybe some of these fees are also negotiable, just depending with the type of hair that you have. If your hair is more dense and thicker and longer, then you could expect to pay more, because they're spending a lot more time just trying to lock each and every strand. So those are the dynamics that you have to consider when you're considering Microlocks or sister locks installation here in South Africa. And another point to also keep into consideration is hair is fairly affordable here in SA. If you would like to research and find out what people are paying outside of South Africa, you'll find that they're paying a whole lot more to get these locks established and to maintain. So we have it fairly good here. And I think before, I mean, maybe it could be shocking if you're coming from a system where you're used to getting your hair braided, or you even just knowing how much it costs to get traditional locks. I think traditional locks, you can get them established for around 400 Rand or even less. So if you're coming from that viewpoint, it's like, what, you paid that much to get Microlocks installed. But if you then consider the overall time and effort that is put into locking hair in such small little sections like that, you'll appreciate why the pricing is a little bit up there like that. But yes, those are the fees that you can look forward to paying here in South Africa. There are also people who are doing DIY installations and reties, especially with lockdown here globally and all of that. People have time on their hands, and you can just work section by section until you're done. So if you're feeling up to the challenge, you can also do a self installation, and then you can then start going for reties, external reties, after you've done your own installation. So it's something that's a nice thing with Microlocks. It's not hard and fast. You need to get someone to do it. There are people that I've seen who have done their own installs that look perfectly fine. They're beautiful, they're gorgeous, they're coming out perfectly. So there's nothing that's stopping anyone from doing a DIY install. If you want, you can do a DIY install and then have someone else to then verify your grid if you are particular about the grid, or just someone else to then just look at every lock and just confirm to you that everything is as it's supposed to be. So yes, guys, I'll be coming again with another video very soon. There's so much to talk about, and I'm just excited as well to have a whole lot more people showing up on Instagram who have locks, who have Microlocks here in SA. Be sure to follow me also on Instagram. I'd like to feature different people just so that we build that awareness. For me, it's just having that awareness and just creating that that buzz and just creating that rapport around this topic. Just hoping that a lot more people will come on board. Be sure to let us know if you have Microlocks so that we build a bigger community and we share ideas, we exchange notes and all of those wonderful things. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. I'll see you again next time. Goodbye.